Okay, I see few people are still joining. That's fine. Right. So before we move forward, any of you guys have any queries, any open issues, any doubts based on whatever practice you guys have done?
Yes, sir. I'm getting error in parent JS.
Okay, okay, fine. Share your screen. Okay, fail to. What was the error you were getting? Right, failed to resolve entry for module child element. Okay, child element JS. Go to your parent component.
Parent company.
Yeah, this parent element HTML. Go to the HTML here. Okay, see
Slide
what
number.
happens here is, so as I told you, right, when you write something in capital, that is when you have to add that hyphen. Since your component name currently is child element anyways in small case. So between child and element, you don't need to add that hyphen there in line 6. Yeah. You only add the hyphen if your E was capital. On the right side also reduce that. Right. Do not try to deploy. Right.
Yes, sir.
So that
Yeah.
only happens if you have something in your component name which is capital. Then in your LWC reference, you have to write in small case, which is why then you will add that hyphen only in those
Okay,
cases.
sir.
Okay. Not in
Okay,
other
sir.
cases.
Thank. Okay, sir.
Fine. Right. So I think the parts which we covered for, yeah, anyone has any query?
Sir,
Yes.
can I share my screen?
Yeah. Nitra, you can stop sharing your screen. Yes, Yakub, you can share your screen.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so here when I enter a name, it is giving me this error.
Hold on. This page has an error. Expand the technical stuff. Click on that. Script error. Scroll down. Scroll to the bottom. Fine. Go to your JS for this. Fine. Here in the JS. Hold on. Expand this. Expand this. It got minimized. All everything got minimized. Yeah. Right. Now go to the handle name change method.
And the name change.
In your HTML, go to the HTML.
HTML.
In the HTML, you see on the input of ename, you are calling a method handle name change, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So go to this method in your JS. Okay, so you see the issue that is happening is in JS you have made the combined method, which is the handle input change, right? But in the HTML you have not replaced that. So your JS currently does not have that handle name change method, right?
Yes.
Which is why the error is coming. Do one thing, copy this method name handle input change and go to your HTML and update it in all of those on change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in that on change, yeah, on all four, change that. Now deploy this and then check once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Got it.
Yeah. Also, one suggestion I would give. So it does not happen that much with LWC, but it happens with Aura, which is why I would recommend. While working with Salesforce, try to avoid Mozilla.
Okay.
Okay, because Mozilla sometimes the Aura does not load properly. It gives errors if their Aura has say JavaScript libraries and all those things. So basically, it is recommended to use Google Chrome, or you can also use the new Edge. The Edge also works pretty fast in Salesforce. Okay.
Yes,
Mozilla,
sir.
sometimes there are UI problems that happen sometimes. Google Chrome also has a problem. Chrome has more
Mm-hmm.
of the cache problem, but Mozilla sometimes the UI will stop working. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
all right, fine. So I'll share my screen now. Let me know once my screen is visible, everyone. Is it visible?
Yes.
Right, fine. So today what we will be studying is something called flows. Okay, so flows are basically an automation within Salesforce. आपको कोई चीज चाहिए जो ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाए, मे बी कोई फील्ड अपडेट, मे बी सम कंडीशन यू हैव टू चेक, बेस्ड ऑन दैट डू सम एक्शन, right? So those things can be done as an automation within Salesforce. And what is that automation called? It is called flows. Now there are multiple types of other automations also we can have. You can have workflow rules, right? Workflows. But these are mostly nowadays legacy. Why? I'll tell you. There is something in Salesforce which is called an enterprise pattern, right? Now with enterprise pattern what it comes is वो एक कोड का फ्रेमवर्क है कि आप जब क्लासेस लिखोगे आप ऐसे स्ट्रक्चर में क्लासेस लिखोगे, right? There is a specific set of guidelines with which you will be writing classes. Now which enterprise pattern companies follow varies company to company, so you will only get to know that once you see the code of the company कि क्लासेस का नाम कैसे रखना है, कोड का स्ट्रक्चर कैसा होना चाहिए, वो every project has different. With automations, what we used to do was previously, because we had a lot of options, we had process builders, we had workflow rules, right? So we used to build as per our choice, right? But nowadays what people do is they try to have some kind of pattern implementation in automations also, कि हम एक standardized तरीका बनाएंगे जिससे हम changes करेंगे, which is why now इसके होने के दो कारण हैं. First is Salesforce has deprecated Process Builder. Process Builder was also an automation, but Salesforce has deprecated it. Salesforce नहीं चाहता आप अभी Process Builder बनाओ, because there are a lot of things जो आप Process Builder में कर भी नहीं सकते. इसलिए if even if you go to Process Builder, you see it. Salesforce also gives a recommendation: go with Flow. With Flow Builder, you can do everything that you can do with a Process Builder, plus more. Now this seems logical कि ज़्यादा फीचर्स है तो फ्लो यूज करेंगे, But there is another reason not to focus on process builder, which is Salesforce has already given a deadline that when it will retire process builder. मतलब उन्होंने एक डेडलाइन बोल दिया है कि इस डेडलाइन के बाद जो प्रोसेस बिल्डर अगर आपने पुराने भी बना के रखे हैं वो भी हम काम करना बंद कर देंगे. Which is why I feel there is no use of learning process builder as of now, because आप किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में जाओगे आपको कोई प्रोसेस बिल्डर बनाने को नहीं बोलेंगे, क्योंकि ऐसा कोई फंक्शनैलिटी है नहीं जो आप फ्लो में नहीं बना सकते और खाली प्रोसेस बिल्डर में बना सकते. Which is why it is deprecated and kind of not worth right now. What is worth is basically flows. Why flows are worth? Because any kind of automation you want, you can build in flow, that you can build in other ones. अभी वर्कफ्लो रूल के अंदर हम क्या कर सकते थे? वर्कफ्लो रूल के अंदर हम ईमेल भेज सकते थे, कोई फील्ड अपडेट कर सकते थे, टास्क, एक्शंस, मल्टीपल चीजें हैं जो हम कर सकते थे इसके अंदर, कोई भी एक्शन करना हो. ये सब चीजें भी आप फ्लो में कर सकते हो, प्रोसेस बिल्डर भी आप फ्लो में कर सकते हो. Which is why this flow is something you should guys get experience on, try to build yourselves also, but which is why focus on flows as an automation. Now, first thing that comes to mind when you talk about a flow. फ्लो का मतलब ही हमारा क्या होता है? फ्लो का मतलब होता है किसी एक डायरेक्शन में फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी कुछ मूव कर रहा है, राइट? जैसे रिवर का फ्लो होता है, राइट? सो इट इज लाइक अ प्रोसेस दैट इज फॉलोड. तो सिमिलरली ऑटोमेशन के केस में इट इज द फ्लो इज सिमिलर थिंग, दैट दिस इज एन ऑटोमेटेड टास्क जो आप फॉलो कराना चाहते हैं. नाउ as soon as I tell you that this is an automation task जो Salesforce में होता है, right? Your next point of thinking should be, so if it is an automation, मतलब खुद से हो जाएगा चालू. So then there should be something which should define when this should get started, right? If it is automated, does that mean it will run continuously, or does that mean it will run whenever it has to run, right? So that is where the first step of understanding flows comes. So I'll just go to, in the setup I went to flows and I click on new flow. As soon as I click on new flow, a flow builder comes in. Now templates आप बाद में मैं just एक brief दिखाऊंगा, but because for now we are going on the basics, so we will start from scratch, right? So see, what did I tell you? That if it is supposed to be automatic, then there should be some way to know कब वो चलना चाहिए, right? That is when the first step comes in, which is type of flow, right? Now these recommended ones are basically the ones which you will probably be using a lot. There is a reason these are recommended, because जितने भी Salesforce के environment है, जितने भी कंपनी के प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, वहाँ पे जितने भी फ्लोस बन रहे हैं, out of that around 95 to 98% are these six, the first six. Okay, but there are other types also. So I'll go through this first six first, and then I'll go through the other ones, right? So this one is called a screen flow. स्क्रीन फ्लो आपका कैसे ट्रिगर होता है? स्क्रीन फ्लो में आप जो भी दिखाना चाहते हो, अगर आपको यूआई में कुछ दिखाना है, फ्लो में कि ऑटोमेशन है जो आपको यूआई में दिखाना है, तो दैट विल बी अ स्क्रीन फ्लो. एंड आई विल टेल यू समथिंग. हमने जो अकाउंट में एक, जो सपोज हमने एक LWC ही डाल दिया था, राइट? नॉट दिस वन, द क्रिएट रिलेटेड एम्प्लॉय वाला, राइट? कि आप डिटेल्स डालो, ऐड एम्प्लॉय करो. नाउ लॉजिकली अगर आप सोचो, so this page is for account only, right? So this page should be showing the data of only account. So having always an employee blank form on the UI does not seem good. What if instead we had a button के क्लिक पे वो जो हमने LWC बनाया था वो UI पे आ जाए? Okay, so that is what is called a screen flow. कि आपको कुछ ऑटोमेशन बनाना है जिसमें आप स्क्रीन में कुछ दिखाना चाहते हो, तभी आप स्क्रीन फ्लो यूज करोगे. Now the other one which these two I'd say are the most common. Screen flow, because a lot of the time you have to show inputs on the UI, show screens on the UI, even show error messages on the UI. तो आप इसको यूज कर सकते हो. एंड द अदर काइंड ऑफ ऑटोमेशन आप क्या करोगे लॉजिकली आप देखिए. इफ यू वांट यू विल हैव एन ऑटोमेशन जहां पे आपको कुछ डेटा कलेक्ट करना है या फिर आपको कोई ऑपरेशन करना है बैकएंड. बैकएंड का कुछ ऑपरेशन से मैं क्या बोलूंगा, आपको कोई भी रिलेटेड ऑब्जेक्ट अपडेट करना है, कोई भी फील्ड अपडेट करना है, कोई भी आपसे सपोज एम्प्लॉय क्रिएट होने पे अकाउंट पे कोई फील्ड अपडेट होना चाहिए, right? So these kinds of update you want. Then what if you have a if the account is deleted, so you have to delete all the employees related with it too, right? So in that case क्या हो रहा है, कोई एक रिकॉर्ड आप मॉडिफाई कर रहे हो इन एनी वे, तब मेरा ऑटोमेशन चलना चाहिए. कि सपोज मेरा एम्प्लॉय क्रिएट होने पे चलना चाहिए, राइट? या फिर एम्प्लॉय अपडेट होने पे चलना चाहिए, या फिर एम्प्लॉय डिलीट होने पे चलना चाहिए. दैट इज व्हेन यू विल बी कॉलिंग द रिकॉर्ड ट्रिगर्ड फ्लो, which launches whenever a record is created, updated or deleted. Now यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि when a record is created, updated or deleted, this does not mean that it will run on all three. इसके अंदर भी आपके पास कॉन्फ़िगरेशन है. If you want कि खाली create होने पे चले, you can do that. If you want कि खाली delete होने पे चले, you can also do that. Or even a combination, create, update दोनों पे भी चले, that also you can do. This is the second type of flow. Other than that, I would say there are few which are frequently used. One is the schedule triggered flow. This one is basically आपके पास कोई process है, suppose कि every day morning 8 a.m. I want this to run. That you have a routine on which this should run, right? So that is called a schedule triggered flow. That this is something you want to build an automation which will run for a whole batch at a fixed point of time, maybe daily, maybe weekly, right? So schedule पे automatically चल जाना चाहिए और आप शेड्यूल कॉन्फ़िगर कर सको कि डेली एवरी मंडे चले या एवरी ट्यूसडे चले, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हेन यू यूज द शेड्यूल ट्रिगर्ड फ्लो. Platform event flow is similar to how this record triggered flow. There is just one difference. रिकॉर्ड ट्रिगर फ्लो आपका कब रन होता है, बेसिकली जब आप रिकॉर्ड्स में मॉडिफिकेशन करते हैं. लेकिन व्हाट इफ अगर आप एक प्लेटफॉर्म इवेंट क्रिएट करते हैं, तो इफ यू मॉडिफाई एन इवेंट, then based on that event आपको चाहिए कुछ automation हो, right? So that is when this one is used, not on record update but a event creation this will run. Now all of this you see till now what four I have done कि इसका आप configuration आप एक set कर दोगे, right? कि मैंने ये चार सेट कर दिया, अब उसके अकॉर्डिंग ये ऑटोमेटिकली चलता रहेगा. से रिकॉर्ड एम्प्लॉय के क्रिएट पे चलेगा या फिर मेरे बटन क्लिक पे चलेगा, राइट? समथिंग यू वांट कि एवरी मंडे चलेगा, और इवन समथिंग जो इवेंट फायर होने पे चलेगा. व्हाट इफ यू वांट अ कस्टम फ्लो जो खाली जब आप चाहो बेस्ड ऑन सम कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होने पे अपने अकॉर्डिंग आप कॉल कर सको, कि मेरे को किसी ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को ये अकाउंट पे भी चलना चाहिए, एम्प्लॉय पे भी चलना चाहिए, कॉन्टैक्ट पे भी चलना चाहिए. So in that case, you kind of need a flow जिसका starting point आप खुद से set कर सको जहां मर्जी जब मर्जी, right? That is when you have an auto launch flow. Auto launch flow क्या करता है, इन सब में आप कोई एक ट्रिगर आपको कॉन्फ़िगर करना पड़ता है, प्लेटफॉर्म इवेंट पे, रिकॉर्ड पे, स्क्रीन पे या शेड्यूल पे. ऑटो लॉन्च फ्लो में एज यू कैन सी हियर जस्ट इट शोज नो ट्रिगर, व्हिच मींस इसका खुद का कोई ट्रिगर कॉन्फ़िगर्ड है ही नहीं. आपने पूरा फ्लो बना दिया. अब मैं क्या करता हूँ, ये मेरा फ्लो है, होल्ड ऑन, VS कोड इज नॉट ओपन, राइट? से आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट दिस इज माय फ्लो एंड व्हाट आई वांट इज यहाँ पे कोई भी एक दो तीन कंडीशन सपोज है मेरी. इफ एक्स एक कंडीशन हो गई एंड वाई कंडीशन हो गई, एज इट, ये तीनों कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होने पे मेरा फ्लो कॉल होना चाहिए, राइट? व्हाट इफ आई वांट अ फ्लो लाइक दिस, कि जब मेरा मन करे, जब मेरी कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हो, तब मैं जिस मर्जी एपेक्स क्लास से कॉल कर सकता हूँ. So here it is not related to anything. मेरी condition satisfy हुई तो मैंने यहाँ पे भी कॉल कर दिया. से मैं दूसरी क्लास में जाता हूँ, यहाँ पे भी मेरी से 2-3 कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई हुई, मैंने यहाँ पे कॉल कर दिया, right? So that is kind of when you want a custom flow which does not have any trigger, which means you can call it anywhere you want. So that is this auto launched flow, right? Record trigger orchestration. So I don't think this is actually very, at least used also that much. Like this is a very niche case, not used a lot. So let's leave it for now, because probably you may not even have to implement it anyway. Others I see here, the ones auto launch flow is fine. This one is related to this. Flow orchestrations, yeah, orchestrations I don't think unless you are working on Marketing Cloud you will need, right? Fine. So the ones which we will be needing the most, screen flow, record triggered flow. So we will do both of these ones, right? So let's go with record triggered flow ones. So as soon as I click on record triggered flow, create. So first time you guys do this, you will see also this tooltip in your environment. I'll just cross it for now. Now what I had told you कि अब record पे trigger होना चाहिए, so you should have a lot of configuration options. So first thing, on which object it should trigger. So in my case, I want it to trigger on employee. Right. Now I have an option whenever a employee is created, whenever an employee is updated, whenever it is created or updated, or whenever a record is deleted. Right. So all the options I have. So let's do one thing. I'll create one for whenever it is created. Right. Now within created also, अब आप actual use case में अगर आप जाओ, so within Salesforce, how many records can users have in an environment? In an environment, you can end up with millions of records, right? So this is where how with Apex we were doing, with SOQL we were doing, similarly in